Yep.
So when did you decide that you wanted to scoop up a piece? How long ago was that when you're like, okay, I'm going to figure out this process and I really want to buy something?
I've been casually looking for, probably a few years, but probably in the last year, I started getting a lot more serious about it. And I think that's just because I started saving up for a down payment and I'm looking, okay, 20, 25%. Wow, I'm getting to where I could maybe buy something here.
Mhm.
So that was probably the past year I started getting a lot more serious about it. Yeah.
How did you allocate that down payment fund? Were you just more diligent with your income of like, okay, I can't touch this. It's going to the land account. What was your strategy or how'd you do that?
Yeah. I would direct deposit, and I would have, all my variable costs going into my checking. And then I have another account, which the only thing that comes out of there is my payment for my truck and my payment for my house
Hmm.
or some house expenses that maybe were unforeseen, something like that.
Hmm.
And then everything left over. So that account kept growing and growing. And that was the necessities do not touch account.
Yeah. I
you
think
know?
I think that's important to tell where tell say where your money wants to go and have that
Hmm.
discipline to not touch it for whatever else.
Yeah.
And so it took you about a year then to really see that account grow. And I assume
Hmm.
you were just getting more excited as you it probably kind of became a game. I bet like, okay, well, I could buy this farm.
Hmm.
I could maybe afford this farm. Is that kind of how that progression looked like for you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I've been putting money into that account for a lot more than a year, but it's like within
Mhm.
the last year, I'm thinking, all right, that's about enough for a down payment. And I want to get a little more in there for a cushion,
Mhm.
which in this instance, I'm glad I did.
And so when you were casually looking at farms, what were some of the things that were top of mind that when you were shopping that, okay, this one I would be interested in and this one would be a deal breaker? Like what criteria were you looking for in an ideal farm for your first one?
Sure. I wanted some timber on there. So it's nice to have the crops because you can get some rental income off there, but I'm buying this for hunting primarily. So I wanted more timber than tillable, and that usually makes it a little more affordable as well. I didn't prefer easement access. It's not a deal breaker by any means, but it it was it was not a selling point in my mind. So I wanted
Mhm.
something with some road frontage and then just something, I was kind of looking 20 to 40, maybe 50 acres, something like that, because I didn't think I could really afford much more. So,
Mhm. How far was your radius of where you were looking to? I mean, did you want to be
yeah.
an hour away, 2 hours away?
So I was looking, I'm in St. Louis. So I was looking, okay, an hour away. Well, those get gobbled up in no time. So then I expanded it to 2 hours. And there are just so few listings that it seemed like that radius kept getting wider and wider.
Mhm.
I really didn't want to go past 3 hours from St. Louis. That gets to the where you can't really get there after work. If you want to slip out of work maybe a little bit early,
Yep.
it's hard to get in the stand at that distance. Or like a morning hunt. If you got to be in the tree at 5:30, all of a sudden you have to wake up at like 1 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I didn't want to go past that. So
So
um
under 3 hours. And so if you're in St. Louis, were you looking in Illinois and Missouri?
mhm.
What state were you focusing on?
Illinois, Missouri.
Yeah.
And we're right here on the border of Illinois and Missouri. And I'm from Indiana. Family and friends that I grew up hunting with and stuff still live in Indiana. So I was kind of looking at Illinois because it would make it more feasible for them to meet up with me
Hmm.
and hunt for a weekend and stuff like that. So, and surprisingly, I was having better luck finding stuff within 2 hours on the Illinois side than the Missouri side. On the
Yeah.
Missouri side, you start getting into the Ozarks, and you're not in. I grew up in farm ground. You're getting
Yep.
down into Ozark mountain country, which I'm
Yeah.
not totally familiar with. So
Yeah.
so Illinois started looking a lot more appealing to me.
Yeah. That southern part of
Mhm.
Illinois has uh, typically a pretty strong amount of inventory. I mean, there's just a
Mhm.
lot of ground, like transitional ground, where there's timber and ag and a mix of it all. Where, yeah, you get west
Mhm.
of where you're at, it's all pretty much, just looking at a map, all very similar. So you were kind of focusing on the southern part of Illinois. How
Mhm.
many? So you end up buying a farm at auction, but before we get to that, I mean, Did you walk many farms before that, or were you just kind of window shopping at the time?
I probably walked a half a dozen, something like that.
The ones you looked at, what made you not buy them? Was it price? Was it something you saw that you're like, I'm not interested anymore? I mean, what turned you away from those 6?
Sure. I wasn't working with an agent, so they would get gobbled up probably by guys who were working with agents.
Yep.
By the time you see it on some of these websites, there's already stuff turning in the background that you don't even know about, and then it's gone.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. My name is Jake Hofer, and I'm a real estate agent out of the state of Illinois, and it's my goal to help 100 people buy their first farm. Been doing that with the Land Podcast and clips like this every single Thursday and Saturday that are released here on the channel. And to be one of those 100 people, all you have to do is, if you're in the state of Illinois and I can help you, I'd be happy to do so. Number 2, if you want to get connected with someone that can help you, reach out, and I'll be happy to get you in contact with an agent that I would personally do business with. And the last one is, if you just simply learn something from the content we're putting out, or you get inspired to take action, I want to know, get you out of that spreadsheet. I'm on a mission to help 100 people. Until next time, see ya.